You guys are watching the Squad Creators Podcast. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. My guys are doing some big things, good things. They're bringing you guys a lot of information, and you subscribing don't cost you nothing. So get it done. It's been your boy Stan Banks from T-Shirt Side Hustle. Peace.
Hey, welcome back to another episode, Squad Creator Podcast.
7-5, man. 7-5. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Did this 75 times, man. So we brought a special guest, man. Q, man. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, brother.
My name is Q. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and my wife is Def by K, Kimmy.
Yeah, man. That was a dope interview we had with her. That was y'all family, man. Just everybody entrepreneur down to the baby girl, man. So I ain't even gonna ask what you do, man. It's more like what you don't do at this point. So, like, what are your specialties, man? Because you do a lot.
My top specialties right now are marketing, barbering, and I would say probably my clothing line and also my music.
Yeah. So marketing, man. Let's start with that one. How you get into the marketing and?
So back a couple years ago, when I was taking college courses, I was looking for some extra work, and at that time, used to find like part-time jobs in the paper, and I found a gig where it was like a Weight Watchers event at a mall where we had to like set it up and break it down, and it was just a small event that was in the mall, and one of my partners that I'm still cool with to this day, he was like, I had just met him at that time, and he was like, man, I do this all the time, marketing and promotions and stuff like that. And it was just a coincidence also on that first event that we both had the same last name, which is not a rare, it's a rare last name.
Uh-huh.
And he just started putting me on with events, and I pretty much went full steam from there, from, doing tours, fly in, fly out events, working at clubs, sampling like Remy Martin, Hennessy, a couple other big brands, and it just spiraled out from there, and I'm still doing it currently.
That's dope, man. So I saw that you make your own alcohol as well, right?
Yeah, I started dabbling a little bit. I brewed my own beer a couple times, but here lately I've just been messing around with like doing like sangrias and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you sell that? Do you sell it, or is it just a hobby?
It's a hobby / selling point. So sometimes I might put pictures on like Facebook or Instagram, and like somebody might hit me and ask me if they can grab a bottle of it, or if I come to an event, I might just bring it just to see how somebody would like it. But right now, my wife likes it, and most of the people that I've either sold it to or just blessed them with a bottle, they like it.
Can you explain a little bit of that process? Because I see it, but I don't know actually what goes on in making these liquors.
Oh, with sangria?
Yeah.
So the sangria, I usually pretty much just use fresh fruit. Depending on what, if it's light or dark, I'm using I'm using vodka, or I'm using cognac in my darker ones, and it's pretty much sitting for. The one that my wife just opened not too long ago was sitting for about 6 months.
Wow.
So it was pretty good.
That's dope, man. So I'm gonna move on, man, bro. You got the list goes on. Barbering. Let's talk about your barbering, man, a little bit.
So I've been a licensed barber for probably this is about my 8th year, and I always wanted to cut hair, dibbled and dabbled a little bit when I was younger, experimented with people that let me cut their hair. And as time went on, the thing with barbering in my area was if you wanted to go to a certain school, you know, you had to put down a lump sum and then a monthly payment, you know, which at the time I really couldn't afford. So as time went on, I actually found another school that was a little bit further, but I didn't mind traveling, where I was able to get financial aid. I went full steam with it, and once I took the course, I just, you know, I pretty much knew what to do. But doing that and being around people in my school, going to hair shows and things like that, like I get people all the time now telling me that I cut better than some people that been cutting for years. I like
I
put on
seen.
to it real quick.
I looked at some of your pictures on your social. Yeah, you a barber. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah, I seen it, man. You clean with it, man.
Appreciate it. And I try to focus on natural barbering. So, you know, most of the cuts that you do see, I don't use enhancements. That's just straight skill. Razor work, clipper, trimmers, you know, so I don't really use a lot of enhancements and color and stuff unless my clients request it.
Yeah, so we barbering. So hold on. People don't understand, man, that your family do a lot of stuff. So we didn't cover rapping is the next one.
So I'm clearing this out. That's why I keep looking now. My bad. I'm trying to get this out.
What you doing?
Sharing it.
Oh, so let's hear about that rapping, man. Tell them where they can find you, cause
so I'm on as far as rapping, I'm on Instagram at QTheGod, QTHAGOD. And I'm also on YouTube, and I've pretty much been a fan of music my whole life, from when I was a baby and my grandparents used to play Sam Cooke, you know, all of the oldies. Like I still even listen to them now, jazz, Miles Davis, you know, and of course, you know, I'm an 80s baby, so everything that I've listened to is all boom, boom, bap, underground, you know, Nas, the whole New York movement, you know, LA. I listen to so much music, and I just listen to like people from all over. That's kind of how I got my inspiration. But I get a lot of people telling me that I got a Nas vibe, you know, the way that I rap. So, because it was a big influence on me. I like his music even still to this day. But I don't want to be a direct you know, comparison, but a lot of people that hear my music, they say that it's kind of a Nas approach.
So I'm gonna say this. This is untraditional. I'm not a Nas fan. I'm gonna tell you why I'm a Nas fan. I'm not a Nas fan. I'm a Tupac fan. So y'all know that. You know how that history go. And I said that to say I'm not taking nothing away from Nas lyrically, but also I'm from the West Coast, so the beats Nas chose 9 out of 10 times kill me, man. Like a lot of
you dog me for everybody I like over here on the East Coast.
You said why not?
You dog me for everybody I like over here on the East Coast.
I don't dog you for who? Who I dog you for? Exhibits from the West. I'm not an Exhibit fan. I never have been.
Okay.
But see, just because I say I'm not a fan, I'm not taking nothing away from these people lyrically.
But you want to hear something funny? It's like I get it all the time. People always ask me, like, man, what's your top 10? What's your top 20? To be honest with you, I listen to so many people, you know, it'll be hard for me to even really compile a list, but I would definitely put Pac in my top 5, though.
You got to.
Yeah, I pretty much got all the Pac stuff, even when all the Machiavellis came out. Like, I'm a Pac fan to the fullest.
Yeah, see, that's so like so with the Nas, man, what's your favorite Nas song? He got a lot of music. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really on this King's Disease mission now, man. Like the last 2 he dropped, because because that's the same page that I'm on right now. You know, like my family, living life, economics. Like
Mhm.
he got so much music, but like I've been on this King's Disease stuff like here lately. I'm waiting for the third one to drop, but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't really have. I mean, I would say Hate Me Now maybe. Um,
Yeah.
it's commercial, but I like the joint with him and Missy.
I haven't heard. See, I'm not hip to none of it, man. But at the same time, with the music,
One mic.
What's up, C?
Mike, I'm gonna say that one mic. And if I rule the world, them is two of the best songs in hip hop history, hands down, hands down. Like
Agreed.
both of them right there, they're like them is two of the best songs in hip hop history.
Hmm.
But like a lot of his stuff on the album stuff, the more album related stuff is just the beats that always kill me with Nas. Like I think he's a hell of a lyricist, but it's like a lot of his music. I used to be like, man, I got to be angry to like bump this because of the beat. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
But you know what it is now? I know what you mean when you say that, because he got a totally different sound now since he been with Hit Boy.
yo, yo, yo,
So yeah, I can agree with that. You know what I'm saying? But since he got with him, I'm like, this a whole new Nas right here. This
yeah,
this what
yeah.
he should have had years ago. No disrespect to Primo, but
He would have went further. He would have went further, more universal. But then,
agreed.
so you got an EP out. You was telling me, man. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's a full track EP. It's called the Conscious Effort EP, and I recorded it and compiled everything about probably and dropped it probably about a year ago now. Um, I've been getting some real nice feedback on it. I just haven't really marketed it as much as I need to,
Mm-hmm.
and I think if it get to the right people, that I'll get the response that I'm looking for. But
Mm-hmm.
two of the tracks that we put on YouTube, I actually did like. Right now is at like I think they've been up for a couple months now. I'm at like 1,500 views, but
Mm-hmm.
that's grassroots. Like no bots or anything like that. That's just
Mm-hmm.
people naturally hearing it and liking it. So I'm cool with the numbers. I ain't really looking, to skyrocket it because
Yeah.
So I really want to get my followers and my fans naturally, which I have been.
Mm-hmm. I feel that, man.
You
So
mix all that by yourself?
Hmm.
I was about to ask that too.
What'd you
Recording and
say?
mixing all that by yourself?
You said, do I mix it all by myself?
Recording and mixing by yourself, all by yourself?
Nah, I'm not too proficient right now on the mixing side, so I do go to a professional studio. I handpick my beats, and I do my recording. I also assist with the like getting the production where it need to be at. What parts to take out, where to mute me at, things like that. But as far as on the engineering side, like I'm still not too proficient on that. But I got it mixed and mastered professionally, and it sounds pretty good.
See, you surprised me when you said no, because of all the stuff y'all do, man. I just
Right? Yeah.
knew you was gonna say that you
I don't
do
have
it.
the time. That's one thing I don't have the time to actually add
I know,
into my schedule, man. It's hard enough trying to get into the studio.
Mm.
I know. I trust me. I know how that go, man. So I'm just curious. I'm gonna stick on this music. One more question on this
Mhm.
music for me. What's your process in the studio? How do you record? I mean, I don't know if a lot of people that's gonna see this even know about the recording process, but I'm just curious, how's a
So,
studio session with you?
man, my writing style is so unorthodox. It's crazy, but I get it done. It's like I'll have like a handful of beats, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll just keep listening to them, whether it be in the car, in the house, or wherever. And whenever I catch like a couple bars, or a word or something that's catchy, I plug it in like a puzzle. And sometimes it might take me a week, sometimes it might take me a month, but I'm piecing it together, and by the time I get finished, when I go in the studio, I'm already ready to record it. One take most of the time. And when I go in and record, I usually layer a lot. I don't really do a lot of ad libs, but most of the time when I go in, I just do one take, especially, the price of studio time. So I'm
Yeah.
usually in and get it done, and that's it. Like, I don't really like hang around in the studio and all that. Like, it's me and one of my clients. His name is Quan, real talented. He only like 22. And I swore he'd been here before, but that's who I've been rolling with, and that's who kind of got me back into music. So me and him been rolling, and he in one of the videos that we shot that's on my YouTube page as well. But
Looking at that dual threat.
yeah, dual threat. That's me and Quan.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm gonna listen to it, man.
So what's your favorite track off the entire album?
True. Probably the dual threat one. Just the graininess of the beat. Both of us rapping on it. It just it's like a 90s vibe for real.
I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
So now, man, like, look, the list goes on. Now let's talk about the clothing line, man.
So I started my clothing line, which is hence the name of the EP, is called Conscious Effort.
Mm-hmm.
Just a name I've been like playing with for a while, and I wanted to come out with a clothing line that had some meaning to it and also would have some longevity. Some people just come out with, just LHM clothing and things like.
Right.
I wanted something that was going to stick and be like, well, what's conscious effort? And also, it's a real life, quote. Like, as long as I feel like if you make a conscious effort to do anything, it's progression.
Period.
So whether you ain't know the answer to a question, but you raise your hand and ask the question, that's a conscious effort.
Yeah.
Period.
That's deep.
So I came out with the name, and I started out playing around a bit with a little bit of a couple samples that I was either wearing myself or most people. I got that gift, but most people, if I say, hey, I got this for sale, they're gonna buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple people that I know have bought a couple pieces, and then they like the design anyway. It's a crown, but a lot of people with clothing lines now starting to incorporate the crown. But
yeah,
I had it hand drawn, so it ain't like it can't be reciprocated. But I came out with the crown, and I incorporated on a lot of my designs. So right now, I usually put it like on the back neck area, and then whatever the design is on the front.
So do you create your own designs?
Yeah. So I come up with my own designs, and then the ones that I can't put in perspective that I want, I usually just sketch out and I send to a graphic artist that I work with, individually, and they usually get it together for me. But most of the ideas, yeah, I come about them myself, whether it be like I got ones with like I haven't released it yet, but I got like a picture of my parents back in the day sitting in the straw in the straw chairs that used to be in the clubs.
Yeah.
They were sitting in there. He had the Jordache jeans on tight. So just stuff like that, either retro or just stuff that make you think. Like I got another one that I came out with that's it's like the palm. It's a palm, and it's the red pill and the blue pill in it, like the Matrix.
Oh yeah.
I got a question for you. So what
Yes, sir.
do you? I'm guessing you press your own vinyl or using embroidery. What process are you using for this clothing brand?
So right now, I'm actually I'm running most of the stuff through my wife. But I started out doing I think my first couple tees were like they were pressed through another company, or I was getting them and just honoring them on myself.
Hold on. How your wife? How can he respond to that? You going
Well,
through?
this was before I had the clothing line for a while. This was
Oh,
before,
okay.
yeah. And then after that, I just went off and actually got into DTG, man. I had a company up in Philly that I was dealing with real heavy, and they would I would send everything up to them, and she would ship it down. It was like a husband and wife owned business, and they would do everything. But unfortunately, they had stopped doing DTG.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was like kind of one of the best types of graphic designs to put out on tees because they, the quality and how long it lasted. Like I still got a hoodie now from like maybe 3 years ago, no cracks or nothing in it.
Oh yeah. So do you you do so damn much, man? Do you so you said your wife does your shirts. Do you actually do shirts as well?
Nah, I don't really have the time. I
I'm
could, but she
surprised.
got, huh?
I said I'm surprised, bro. Like it's crazy the list of y'all family, man.
She got her own system, so like I don't even go in her space, man. Like
I feel it.
I just, find out what I need to get done, and then I reach out to her.
Yeah.
Or, she get a custom order through somebody I know. I'm like, here. I email it to her, text it to her, and she take care of all of that. But
Yeah, man.
hopefully when I get a little bit more time, that is something I probably want to incorporate because I do want to start getting into cut and sew. I
Yeah.
got a lot of custom things that I want to start doing and trying to work with some overseas suppliers and stuff like that. So cut and sew is definitely probably in a mix because everybody doing sweatsuits,
Yeah.
t-shirts and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to do a little something that's a little bit off the grid.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that, man.
That marketing apply to everything that you do, or is it like different strategies? And I mean, of course, it'd be different strategies you do on different things. Could you explain that a little bit? The marketing.
Yeah. So with the marketing, like I said, I've represented several different brands. Just going around, like if you came to a club back in the day and you seen people going around, you see the girls going around giving out samples of like drinks and giveaways and t-shirts and things like that. I managed a lot of those events, so I would be up in the club and taking pictures and building relationships with the bar owners, inventory, logistics, and things like that. So by me just doing that on a corporate level for these different brands, I organically just learned how to start marketing, and I applied to my own business. Took a couple classes, on Udemy, and just read a little bit, network. But I pretty much like it. I kind of just fell in the lap of marketing just from experience. I never went to school or anything like that.
So with the Udemy classes, man, those are useful for you.
Hmm.
The Udemy classes, those are pretty
Yeah,
useful.
yeah. I mean,
You know.
it simplified it for me. A lot of it I kind of already knew just from just doing it in the field. And that was another thing that we used to always say, us experienced and seasoned brand ambassadors and managers. We used to always say, the people that work in the corporate world, they go to school for it, and all they do is they teach everything from a distance, and they never really got out into the field and actually physically worked it to see how it operates. And I feel like school is cool and it's good to get an education, but a lot of times you learn a lot of stuff, hands on and actually being out in the field a lot more than by the book. Because by the book, they're just teaching you, just the generalized things you need to know to get a degree.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
Mhm.
You don't really like even when you get a degree, you go to a job. What they gonna do? They're gonna train you.
Yep.
Period. So what you saying that, man, I was in college, I don't know, about 6 years ago.
All
Yeah,
right.
like 5, 6 years ago. And I was doing business. And one of the things that turned me off about that is I'm spending all this money And then so I go home, got homework to do, and I had to Google stuff, and for class or whatever. And literally my textbook is on fucking YouTube. You know what I mean? And I mean, you could find literally from the textbook, you can find the answers and the questions from the textbook on YouTube, right here on YouTube. So one day I'm like, man, I'm spending all this money for something I can get off of YouTube.
Yeah.
It made no sense to me whatsoever, man. So I honestly understand what you're saying about that, about this school stuff, man. It's cool. I'm not knocking it, but it's crazy. It's crazy.
I watched a couple DVDs, man, and it opened my eyes up about how college works, man. It's crazy, how they set people up to come into college, and then you come out of school with all that debt. Yeah. And even if you do come out with a job making $100,000 a year, your loan payment that you gotta pay back is
right.
It still keep you in a lower percentile. So you might be making 100,000, but by the time you pay your school loan, man, you probably making like $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
And charge interest on it too.
Yeah.
And then even that, how many people are actually gonna get a degree and then gonna make that 100K?
That too. Because it's only, if you really look at the percentage, it's only a small percentile of people in the US that make $100,000 solely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so man, you guys do so much entrepreneurial stuff, man. If y'all haven't watched it, go back and y'all double back and watch the Death by K interview. It's so in depth about the family and stuff, but where's the hustle in you? Where's the entrepreneur in you come from?
Man, it's all in my family. My uncle had a store. That's who kind of gave me the leeway. My uncle had a store in this mall, man. It was called Hip Hop One Stop. He had all of the T-shirts, with black. That's when the Malcolm X hats and stuff like that was around. And,
yeah.
The cartoon images with the Black Bart Simpson and all that. He had a store in the mall, and he just branched off and started doing that on his own for years. And then when that mall ended up closing up, he ended up going to another mall, and he pretty much turned it into a small shrine for hip hop. So he would have hip hop toys, cards. He still had the apparel and things like that, but he dedicated it a lot to hip hop, and he was able to do that for a long time. He hustled CDs, everything. And then one time on my mom's side, we went to a family reunion down in South Carolina, and I ended up talking to a couple of family members that I had never met, and we started talking about our family tree and stuff like that. And man, they went back. And I got people that own farms, funeral homes, people that were singers in my family that I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. And I just kind of I worked and I always hustled. Either I work, my wife, she'll tell you, anybody will tell you, man, I didn't probably work sometimes 4 or 5 jobs at one time.
Wow.
Part-time job on the weekend, another job that was only 1 day a week, another job that was in the morning. I was able to work it out with my schedule and pile it all around like that. But, at the end of the day, as you get older, that stuff weigh on you.
Period.
So you don't want to, dedicate all your time working for somebody. And I came to the conclusion, and from reading that, at the end of the day, if you work for somebody, you always gonna have a cap on you. If you self-employed, the sky's the limit.
Period. That's definitely true, man. There's the whole advancement in somebody else's business, though. It ain't for everybody.
I'm gonna tell you something funny. and I always use this when I'm talking to people about business and stuff. But it was a meme. You probably can find it on online. But it was a guy. He was parked outside of his establishment, and he was sitting on his Ferrari, and his boss. I mean, one of the workers had said, from the caption bubble was like, "Boss, that's a nice car." And so he had a caption bubble that he was thinking, and he was like, "Yeah, as long as you keep working for me, I'll be able to afford it."
Yeah, man, I've seen that.
And I was like, "Nah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
nah." So
Yeah,
I
man.
can't do that for you. Like I can do that for myself
Period.
and my family. Like, nah.
Period.
Y'all wear so many different hats, and so the entrepreneurial spirit is on both sides. For you, what's the one thing? If you just had to narrow it down to one thing, what would it be? And
That I
why?
would do.
Yeah.
Man, my love really is barbering. Like I love cutting hair, I love meeting new people. I love transformations, like especially the people that I have a suite now, but the people that used to come in my shop. Cause you cut somebody hair for the first time, they like, I don't know how this gonna turn out.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, 9 times out of 10, even the person that I cut for the first time, man, I get them out the way and they like, you my barber.
Yeah.
So like, I would say that because I built a lot of relationships with it. I even had some of my clients that passed and they requested me to be their barber. So, I went to funeral homes and cut my clients. Like that's a lot right there for somebody to tell you that put in their will or one of their last words is make sure my barber come cut my hair. Like
Wow.
so I would say barbering would be my number one thing that I probably would stick with as my business, and I will be so.
So with the barbering and also all the other stuff you do,
Mhm.
how has the barbering helped advance some of these other entrepreneurial ventures you have?
Man, so well, what I do with the marketing, it branched off into that because I've done events for like acts, styling clients
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So you had to be a licensed barber, so it tied into that. Musically, I actually was hired by a local artist, to be in his music video as a barber. Um, just the whole industry itself is like gravitating, especially now because barbering is like it's like even though it still references back to the old days where it was about us coming in the shop getting our haircuts and stuff like that. Now it's like it's more stylish. So we bond with people that rap, the style, fashion,
Right.
things like that. So, you know, like if I'm in a shop now, most of the time I'm wearing nice stuff
Yeah.
because that's what people like to see when they come in the shop. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
got nice fragrances in the air and things like that. So um, it's been branched off into so many different avenues for me that I didn't even think, like especially with the music video, because they just had a portion where they needed a barber that was out in the hood, cutting a kid on a milk crate,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I got the part.
that's dope. So do you actually have a shop or you just cut out the house?
Yeah, I got a shop. I used to work at probably about 3 or 4 different shops before I really. My goal always was to get my own, but
Yeah.
at my last shop, I was like, I got. It's the way that the industry going.
Mm-hmm.
Like because traditionally, when you're in the shop, a lot of times, the price list is up, and people are gonna try to come in and Jew you down and stuff like that. And where I'm at now, I can set my price, and either you gonna pay it or you're not gonna come back,
Period.
or you just not gonna come. You
Period.
know, I know we service the public and stuff like that, but sometimes certain haircuts, I do what's called more custom haircuts. It's based off the person's texture of their hair, what kind of haircut they want, and things like that. Because some people come in there, and just because I tell people all the time, just because you cut a regular haircut, it's not always just one, just going with the grain in one direction. Sometimes you gotta like fade, the hairline in and things like that. So it's not just going this way or going this way to take it down to one level, because it ain't always going to be even.
Yeah.
So you got to customize it. And sometimes.
Oh yeah, I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, and then sometimes with some people, they come in, their hair not clean, so I shampoo my clients and things like that, and educate them on the importance of what I'm trying to do is, and a lot of other barbers I do get inspiration from but just bringing back the sense of male grooming.
Right.
Taking care of yourself, and stuff like that.
What's your price for a custom cut? Just I'm gonna get this lined up right here, and I'm gonna go bald, razor bald up top, razor line the beard.
That's usually like 40.
40.
Yeah.
All right, because I had some folks up here like I used to cut hair. I don't always cut hair. I still cut my son's hair, so
okay,
whatever. But there's a barber shop on the corner right by my store, and like people will come from out that barber shop and come into my store, and they be like, "He charging too much. He charging like." Typically, they say $45 to $50 to $60. I'm like, well, what did y'all get done to y'all heads?
It depends. I mean, and it depends. Like, you gotta really see. There's a lot of barbers out here that's capping, and there's a lot of barbers out here that they live in areas where that price is acceptable.
Yes.
If you in a, for instance, like where I'm at, it's kind of more so blue collar. You can't really, unless you got that clientele where you got that base of people that's in a certain group, you can't really charge that price. Yeah. Because most of the people that's coming in there, they working class people. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna be able to afford that. Or if they do and they really mess with you, they only gonna come once a month, twice a month, every other month. It ain't gonna be consistently like, you would have a repeat client that come every week, every 2 weeks. So I kind of keep it at a medium where, I'll be honest, sometimes they don't tip, they just pay 40 and that's it. But that's a price that works for me and the services that I'm providing. And a lot of people don't understand that, I go to hair shows, I buy the ultimate products, the ultimate tools and things like that. And that stuff costs money.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you got employees?
No, it's just me.
Oh, just you? Okay.
Yep.
So I imagine in my head, I don't know what your shop look like, but in my head, I just feel like you got hella stuff around that you selling.
No question.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, when you come in my shop, it's I actually have like a double suite. And the way it came to me, I was looking in Craigslist and just thinking of different ideas, because I was like, well, these y'all probably got them while where you at too, but these like salon suites that they build in where, they rent out a space. Mm-hmm. A lot of them, they want to lock you into a contract for like 2 years, and you got a real small space that you can find to, and it's, even though you got your clientele, it's still so much competition, even if somebody just walked in there, because they would come in and see a directory of like 30 people. So when I found my place, it's actually an office space that was inside of an apartment building. And when I walked into it, I immediately came up with the concept of how I wanted to lay it out. Even if I really didn't get a lot of people from the building, but just how I wanted to lay it out for myself. Because on one side is like offices on the ground floor, and then on the other side is apartments. And when you come into my spot, I got TVs up, I got my product shelf right there as soon as you come in, because sometimes that's the first thing people be looking for when they come in or when they leaving. So it's right by the door. Got an Xbox in there so they can play while they waiting for a haircut, or if they got kids.
Yeah.
Complimentary candy, drinks, so, and all that's complimentary mostly, but that come with a price.
Yeah, man.
Yes, it does. You cater your clients. They pamper when they walk in there.
Bro, does Kimmy got her wall of shirts? We gotta stand for the shirts. For the shirt up in there.
So the only thing about Crafty Leo, I go to Bronner Brothers.
Bronner Brothers hair. Okay.
But as far as the clothing, the only thing with the clothing is because hair get everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we ain't got no order forms for the baby, for the bows for the baby, or
that's all from this.
Yeah, that I feel it.
And I usually get it like that. So if I'm in the shop and I got a female client that come in and she might have a daughter and I'm cutting her son, I was like, I'll be talking. I say, hey, well, my daughter has a small business. She sells bows. And then she might say, well, what's her Instagram, or what's her email? I mean, her website.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my stuff is word of mouth because I got the gift of explaining stuff to people where they can understand it. Because sometimes you might be like, well, I got this right here, and then that's it. But I like to explain it. It comes from this type of material. Is this, and then it's an easy sell.
Yeah, man. Black Ground said barbers are too expensive. $40 for a 30-minute cut. That's $80 an hour banking. I don't agree with that, because I can go over here. I got some super color transfers around here somewhere, but
I already know what you're about to say.
You know what I mean? And a $3.50 t-shirt.
Yeah.
That I'm about to sell for $45 or something.
Yeah.
And that took me all of 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And I actually, hold on, I'm gonna take that back. It took me about, I'm gonna give it a full 60, because I had to put the shirt on there and pre-press and do all that. You know what I mean? And then even I got a t-shirt folder that'll just fold it up and slide in the bag. I just made a $40 profit in 2 to 3 minutes. Technically, I mean, I think it's the same thing. And like, as far as a barber goes, that shit is art. Especially,
it really is.
I saw your pictures. Like, y'all go check him out. Like, I saw his pictures of the stuff he does. Like, he's not just no regular ass barber. He a barber, with a double barber on it. You know what I mean? Like,
man, I get the nose hairs, I get the ear hairs. Yeah. I smooth down the eyebrows. I pay attention to detail. Like, it ain't for everybody, because some people like what you was just saying. Like, you can say some people like Hennessy, some people like Salinak, which is the lower equivalent of Hennessy. So, and they say they taste the same, but it depends on the person. I don't knock somebody if they tell me that my prices are high, because then it's somebody else that I might run into, they'll be like, oh, all right, cool.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So that's just marketing and business in general. Same thing if you go to McDonald's, and McDonald's got a value menu that's $10, but then you go to Burger King and it's $5, only because you still want a hamburger and French fries.
What was the most expensive cut you've ever done?
You said the most expensive?
Yeah.
Probably about $100.
Ooh, what they get?
Yeah, what $100 cut look like?
Shampoo, the cut, facial,
okay,
and products.
Hold on. You be doing that? You be putting that warm rag on there?
Yeah.
Listen, man, you go to the barbershop and they put that hot rag on your head.
Oh my goodness, man,
bro. That shit, man. The man put the thing on my head. I was like, "Am I gay? It shouldn't feel this good."
No, man, it's all about just taking care of yourself. Like, especially if you get a bald head and you get a hot steam towel at the end with like essential oils in it, man.
Period.
So paying for essentially overall the whole package. You're not just going in there and cut for $100. You actually getting maintenance done.
Yeah.
Experience though. It's an experience.
Yeah, it's a whole
And that's the thing about with barbering too. Like, even though I got a flat rate, you still make money off your products.
Yeah.
So I didn't start it, something. I'm sorry, brother. Look, what the wife said.
For real.
What the wife said, Grant. I'm sorry, brother. And then look, now we got the new conversation you got to be waiting on.
Background clothing, my prices pretty much been the same even before the pandemic.
He had asked what was the prices before the pandemic.
Yeah, he said they pretty much the same.
The educated natural just said it. People pay for what they value.
Period. Crafty.
You know? I mean, some people cool with a $20 haircut or, going and doing it yourself in the mirror. They happy with it. But a lot of times, to be honest with you, the people that I have had do that, they come in my shop and they say, man, I cut my own hair. Once they come into my shop and I cut them, most of the time they be like, man, I'll be back.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, it's definitely, all that stuff is an experience, man. It's like,
thanks, babe.
It's like we had Kiana Mumford on here last week, and she do eyelashes, man. You paying for it. Not only you paying for the cut or the lashes or whatever the case, you paying for the experience. Because even as a barber, man, I know people come in there, like I said to her, like people come in that barbershop, they unload their life on you at the same time. And
that
then
too,
so you got to pay for they paying for a therapist and some more shit.
Yeah, I got a lot of confidential information from a lot of clients, man.
Yeah.
The stuff that people be going through. I done had people in my chair cry.
Yeah.
So, not saying that I charge for being a therapist, but that's what I learned in school too. Like, that's what we are, and especially where I'm at, because it's nobody else in there. It's just me and that person, and I'm just cutting them.
Form of counseling as well. I mean, sheesh. Salute to you.
Appreciate
it. Your wife said, hey, own a barber spot for me.
That's the goal.
Yeah, man.
So, we in the process of moving, and once I get everything accumulated the way that I want to have it where, my client can come in there, he can get a shampoo, he can get a manicure while he's getting his haircut, cigar bar, cologne bar, drinks, like the ultimate place that a man can come and, enjoy yourself. The game TV be on, pool table and stuff like that. So,
oh yeah, that's gonna clean up. You gonna clean up nice off of that.
Yeah, man.
So are you mixing the cologne thing? Because you keep saying products. So, what all products do you offer?
So most of the products I have are like curl sponges, of course, because that's a trending hairstyle right now with the here they call it a cruddy, but curl sponges, and of course if you get a curl sponge, you need a product to put in it to maintain the style. So
what is a curl sponge? What is a curl sponge?
So the curl sponge is a sponge that you put in your head to give you the ethnic look, like make it look like you got curly hair, or like if you got more coarse hairs, like kind of giving you the effect like you got kind of like you twisted your hair with your fingers.
That's dope.
So
in order to hold that style, you gotta put gel or a conditioner in. So I sell conditioner, and it also made up a gel, with a fragrance that I came up with, and I sell it as a package.
Where can we get that? Can we get that online?
Not yet.
Not
I'm
yet?
selling it.
Oh,
I sell it in the shop, but to be honest with you, that's another thing I was actually thinking about adding on once I get settled, is doing a barber supply.
So yeah, y'all moving out of state, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you make cologne? Look, bro. Look here. Let's talk about that, man. Yeah.
What's that? All the stuff that I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's man, let's talk about that, man.
Y'all need a vacation too. I'm just gonna throw that in there.
No, we vacate. Trust me, we do. We about to go on one at the end of the month.
All right, right on.
I work a lot, and my wife work a lot. I work probably more than her, work wise, but work and personal wise, taking care of the baby and stuff like that. I give her that credit, but we still make sure that even though we both are busy, that we separate our time, where, because I have an older daughter too from a previous relationship, so I make sure I have it where it's my wife and I have time. Sometimes myself and my baby have time. Myself and my oldest have time, or me and the two kids have time, or then all of us. So I try to, think of different things that we can do, whether it be like last week I took my oldest daughter, just to go have brunch.
Yeah. And all that type of stuff is needed. You have to have that balance.
Yeah.
So, man, we've been going 50 minutes, man. We got to go play this this bill right quick, man. Let me find it. Mike T's be doing this, but let me find it.
BSU4.
Look, I don't know.
Visit Vinyl Supply Unlimited today. VinylSupplyUnlimited.com has so much to offer. First of all, Jason's a Caesar authorized dealer. That means he carries all the flavors, all the patterns, all the puffs that you need for your vinyl needs. Not only does he carry vinyl, he also carries adhesive decal vinyl and additional supplies for your everyday crafting needs. Are you in need of some glitter? Well, he got that. You don't have to look no further. Are you in need of classes? Maybe some training over some of the products that you use? Look no further. This man also carries his own line of glitter, the ultra fine, the chunky iridescent. Squad Creators 10 at the checkout. He also carries alcohol inks, a plethora of flavors, over 50 I do believe, to where you can mix and match and make it your own, very custom. Then if you're in need of molds, this man also carries molds, the gingerbread mold, cross molds, whatever it is that you need for your crafting needs. Visit Vinyl Supply Unlimited today. Use the code SquadCreators10 at checkout for 10% off of your entire purchase. That's VinylSupplyUnlimited.com.
You guys are watching the Squad Creators Podcast. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. My guys are doing some big things, good things. They're bringing you guys a lot of information, and you subscribing don't cost you nothing. So get it done. It's been your boy Stan Banks from T-Shirt Side Hustle. Peace.
Man, y'all heard him. Vinyl Supply Unlimited, Squad Creators 10 to get you 10% off your order, $50 spent. We'll get you free shipping. And then y'all heard the GOAT, man. Y'all subscribe, like, comment, all that to Squad Creators Podcast. So we are back with Q, man, the serial entrepreneur, man. Listen.
Serial entrepreneur.
So I need to get back on this cologne, man. Let's talk about this cologne again. How you do that? What's the process on cologne, man, making?
So I started out actually with oils. And I remember one time I was working at this car dealership, and even to this day, man, we still got a relationship, but I met a brother online years ago that was selling oils. He was from New York, but he lived down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, even now we still communicate with each other. We follow each other on Facebook now, but we actually we linked up online, and I trusted him. I bought an order from him. I think I spent like maybe $100, and my wife getting ice.
Hey everybody!
What's up, baby?
Tell me you're working on the order forms.
She said she working on those order forms.
Hey.
Oh yeah, get that shit on that wall so quick, so fast, huh? My bad, Q.
It's good. It's all good. But I took a chance with him, man. You know, buying stuff off the internet from people you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's what business is. It's a risk. So he mailed them to me. Man, I had my first little the little cube box of the priority box with oils. I'm just going around and everybody I know, like, yo, smell this, smell this. I sold out the box in a couple days.
Wow.
And I read up with him a couple times, you know, because the presentation of the way that I did the oils, like I did my own labels, everything. And later on, I always been into colognes. Like, my wife still fuss at me to this day because I got so many different colognes and like all on my dressing and stuff like that. She like, you gonna wear all of those? But I always been in a cologne, smelling good. You know, from my dad, he used to always spray cologne on himself and me, and I always took pride in just, you know, smelling good. So I started learning about essential oils and blending and what notes go with each other. So I bought a perfumer's kit, and I just started playing around with it, making my own fragrances. So I had a couple of them that I had sitting, and they actually came out pretty good. I didn't really make a huge batch of it, but I make actual body sprays that I sell in my shop with fragrances that I've come up with.
What's some of the names? Some of the flavors, I should say.
Just common stuff like which one I got? I got one called.
Just because he asked you.
Oh, right there.
No, because some of them I actually do use oils, you know, and then I mix them with, like, I usually use Everclear. It's the best base for alcohol.
Like, real alcohol?
Oh, shit. Yeah. That's what a lot of perfumers use, alcohol, like that you drink.
Oh.
And I use Everclear, and sometimes I mix it with some oil fragrances that I get. Most of the stuff I do, sometimes I don't really kind of name them, but, you know, of course I got sandalwoods, you know, I got cedarwood, things like that. I had one called Obama back then when Obama was out. Like, most of them, they just, you know, I just label them just natural scents.
Mm-hmm. So you said that they making it with the Everclear. Now you're gonna have people trying to extract the liquor out of there and shit. Now, man, like, they gonna be a hard time. Like, man, hand me a bottle of that sandalwood, would you?
I hope they don't,
man.
I hope they don't, because it's alcohol and a couple other things in there you don't want to ingest. So
yeah.
Wow. You do a lot.
So so I know your wife does cook. Has the catering. Do you cook as well?
I can, but she does most of the cooking because that's what she loves to do. But I've cooked before, and she liked it. The kids like it, you know.
Yeah.
But we got two different diets too. So.
Oh yeah, you don't eat meat, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, so quick story, man, before I ask you about that, because I need some advice. So we went to the Long Beach to the impression show in Long Beach. My wife and I drove. So you go through this part in California, it's like I forgot. I can't think of the town. So you smell this foul ass smell, man, and you get down the freeway a ways, It's cows, man. It's a cow slaughterhouse, bro. That was the nastiest shit I've ever smelled. Like it's just thousands of cows,
Yeah.
hundreds of cows, like in these pens, and it's not a good thing. So I've eaten meat once. So when I went down, we went at night. We smelled it. It's like,
Mhm.
that smelled bad. Didn't know. But coming back, we was in the daytime and saw the cows and the smell. And I've eaten meat once since I've been back from California. And that was I forgot what day we came back last week sometime. So
Real nasty.
like,
Yeah,
bro,
bro.
it was crazy, man. Like you can Google it. Just Google slaughterhouse on the California freeway, and like a big story pops up about it. Like this shit is gross, man. So we haven't eaten meat since, man. So can you like what's some type of point me in a direction of staying off this meat? Because right now I want to have sandwich.
All right. I mean, typically, you know, for breakfast, I'm not a vegan.
Mhm.
I'm a vegetarian, so
Yeah.
you know, I still eat eggs and stuff. So typically, like for breakfast, I might eat like I've been on this kick lately because you know, with me going to the gym and stuff, I just got into this transformation challenge. So I've been trying to change up a little bit of you know how much I intake, but I do like with like egg whites with cheese. You know, I get a tortilla, throw it in the oven to warm it up a little bit. I throw that together. Maybe put an avocado in there and a special sauce that I get. You know, and I make like a breakfast wrap.
Mhm.
Egg whites and a bagel with peanut butter and fruit, yogurt. You know, you can do stuff like that for breakfast. Of course, cereals, but I don't really eat a lot of cereal.
Mhm.
Oatmeal for lunch, salads. I don't really do a lot of the fake meats and stuff like Beyond Meat and all that. I
Mhm.
try to get my intake of protein and stuff from like beans and things like that. So you might eat a salad, put some beans on it, hemp
Yeah.
seeds, you know, jazz it up a lot. Veggie
Mhm.
burgers, man, the possibilities endless. I tell people most of the time the same stuff that you eat when you go out with people that
Mhm.
got meat in it, just give it without meat.
Yeah. So we just bought some of them veggie burgers yesterday. Um,
So you've
um,
been vegetarian your whole life, or did this happen once you got older?
Halfway. So my oldest daughter, she's about to be 18, and I started when she was pretty much born. So
mhm.
18 years.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
So what's the like? How do you feel? Like what? I mean, so once you stop eating meat, man, like how long did it before you felt the effects of not eating meat? Because I'm sure your body feels better after it.
So energetic, and I'm very energetic. You know, especially with my workload, like you gotta be. But
Mhm.
um, I feel a lot better, like mentally. A lot of times, like I think a lot before I actually speak. You
Mhm.
know, so like my clarity is on point. I rarely get sick.
Mhm.
I still got all my head. I'm 40. I'm about yeah. So skin clear. You know, I pretty much maintain the same weight since high school.
Mhm.
Um,
Me too. Uh, me too, babe.
so you know,
Do you use black seed oil at all? Just
you said
wondering.
black seed.
Yeah, black seed.
Mm,
Where you get your black seed oil, if you don't mind me asking, your black seed period?
My Amazon,
Amazon.
and that's the same thing with like stuff like that, man. I use that, you know, internally and externally. You know, I use black seed oil. You know, I take a spoonful of it, or you know, I put it on my skin. I put it in my beard because my clients always ask me. They like, man, what's a good product to put in my hair? And I'm like, the same thing you cook with: coconut oil, olive oil, grapeseed, whatever you fix in the kitchen, put it on your skin
Really?
or put
Wow.
it in your hair.
You're a
Why
dietitian.
is that? Why you say that?
Man, to your resume, dietitian, all right?
Which
Hold on, right quick though. I gotta. So why do you say use the stuff that you cook with?
Cause man, a lot of stuff that is out here, like these lotions and these face washes that they come out with, man, they got so many ingredients that you can't even pronounce. And this stuff, man, we could probably talk for hours about this, but this is some of the common causes of ADHD, why people are depressed, why they skin or why their breath is bad. It's the products that they're using,
Makes sense. Make
and a lot of this stuff, man, you need to just take it back to square one and just use stuff that's good for you. Like it's a book I read years ago that was back in the 1700s called Back to Eden, and all they was just living off of stuff from the earth.
hmm Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then like that meat, I don't think human beings are supposed to eat meat nor drink milk.
Man, if you look at the history, our teeth not designed to eat meat. Like
Mm-hmm.
you look at lions and tigers and people, and animals with jagged teeth that's
Mm-hmm.
made for ripping flesh.
Right.
Only teeth we got like that is the little canine teeth on the
Yeah.
side. That ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
And the big thing now, is always been protein. And I tell people all the time, like you really only gonna get your true protein if you eat it the same way the animals eat it. And most time, man, people ain't gonna eat it raw.
Right.
Once you cook that meat, all that protein, the nutrients, and all that is a lot of percentage lower than what it initially was when you first bought it.
Mm,
Right. Makes sense.
wow. So,
Then the dyes, all that stuff, there's so much stuff they do, man, with this meat is crazy. Like meat is never that red. You know what I'm saying? Like they put dyes in it to attract you and entice you to be like, oh man, this juicy steak. But if you cut your arm, what color is the muscle and all that? If you cut your arm and it was exposed, it's brown,
Mm-hmm.
not red.
Right. Make a lot of damn sense, man.
yeah, it does. It just changed my whole way of thinking right now. Anyhow, we get scrimmaged over the meat. But bro, you do a lot. So you making sangria, you're a barber, you got a clothing line, you're also an actor. The Conscious Effort, which is a brand slash a record that came
Yeah,
out. Create your own designs. So we said serial entrepreneur, but the whole family is like that. Man, I
Mm-hmm.
take my hat off to y'all. Y'all over there grit
appreciate it.
to the hustle by any means necessary. And it's really refreshing to see that a lot of times people only stick with one thing or maybe fighting with one thing to just stick with. And y'all over there just killing it.
Can't put all your eggs in one basket.
That's true. Um, a lot of times we ask for strings, or I say strings anyway, in case one thing mess up, another thing is already going full fledged. If that decides to dry up, switch on over to another one.
Yeah, and I'm an avid investor, man. Like I do a lot.
You, let's talk about some what we talking there, man. Let's talk investments. Uh-huh.
So, I leave it up to these to the millennials, man. I touched on it a little bit, but the Bitcoin, I mess around with the Bitcoin a little bit, but I'm more traditional. I'm just like blue chip stocks,
Mhm.
companies that have been around for years. I do a little, it's another little company I use called Fundrise, where you can invest in real estate where, you don't have to physically purchase a property. So,
That fun rise.
mhm.
Hmm. So, So that's crazy. So man, he said something about the acting, but that was off camera. We ain't even touch on that. Let's yeah, what I'm telling you, man, this dude, I'm telling you, him and his wife and that baby, they the family of Jamaicans, man.
Write the book.
Y'all remember Living Color?
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be something later on. Definitely want to do that.
Red 40 killing us. So let's talk about that acting. What we got going with that?
Yeah, she right. She said the Red 40 killing us.
That's the dye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the Kool-Aid, it's in the meats, everything.
Wow, I'm cool on all of that. Man, I gotta have my fish and chicken thighs. You ain't know I was addicted to chicken.
Fruit punch drinks, all that. That's Red 40, man.
Fruit punch.
That's the best thing.
That's
Yeah.
what I all that.
That's the best thing.
I love water.
But the acting, I'm kind of just getting back into it. Like a couple years ago, when I'm from Baltimore, so a lot of people know about The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
So I did started out just messing around doing some extra work on The Wire.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I was just Wire the other day.
Yep. It was pretty cool. I got a nice experience. Met a couple people from the cast, sometimes work long days, just to shoot. Like, I mean, I probably would shoot 30 minutes and then sit in the trailer the rest of the time. But, they needed you there. But started out doing some extra work. And then, with Facebook, man, you can find so much stuff. So I was like, I am trying to get back into it, as another side hustle that I do, like with marketing. So I got into this group on Facebook, and literally probably like the second or third post was like looking for a dual role for a child and an adult for a commercial. So I was like, this might be the perfect time to get my daughter started, because we talked about it before. But my wife was kind of on the fence about it, the whole pressure about the industry and stuff like that on kids.
Yeah.
So, I told her about it and I submitted it, and they hit me back. I was like, wow, it was a paid gig and everything. I'm like, I ain't expect that.
And you got it on Facebook?
Yeah. So, pretty much out of that, we did it. It was only a couple of hours because we only did like 2 or 3 scenes, and we kind of like went through it. And my daughter caught on pretty quick, so we didn't really spend the whole day doing it. But then after that, I was waiting on them to send me a copy of it, but they told me they didn't get permission to release it yet. But people kept calling me. It was like, man, I was watching the news or I was watching football, and when it went on commercial, I thought I should seen you and your daughter. I was like, you probably did. So then I kept getting all these people calling me or my wife and telling us. I'm like, y'all gotta get permission because people are already seeing it. They already releasing it.
Right.
So they finally sent me a copy of it just for my records. So pretty much after that, went into found another thing recently where there's a Netflix series that's coming out, I think, next year. For legal reasons, I don't know if I can, but I'm not gonna say the name of it. But it's a Netflix series coming out next year, and I just did some extra work on that. And then I got another scene. I got another thing where it's a young lady that moved up to this area from Atlanta, and she does a lot of commercials and inspirational videos. And so she was looking for actors. So this is like my first kind of speaking role. And I sent in my info, my experience, even though it wasn't much. She was like, I want you on it. I was like, all right. So she sent me the script, and I've been studying it, and we supposed to start filming that this weekend. But she wants me to be pretty much like one of the lead actors in a lot of her commercials and stuff that she come out with.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So you said you're born and raised in Baltimore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that's watched The Wire, man, like The Wire was portrayed the life in Baltimore, and that shit was dangerous. Baltimore is notoriously dangerous. I know for a while y'all were the murder capital and all that, man. How was life growing up there, and how did you separate yourself from the streets to keep pushing this entrepreneurial life?
A lot of willpower, to be honest with you. Like, when I was young, I'm always the type where, I don't like to boast and brag about it, but I'm the one that's always cool with the drug dealers, the killers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know our happy medium. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they know he ain't gonna go this way. You know what I'm saying? So like, I know him, but they know we cool, but we move on different accords.
Right.
And when I was growing up, I didn't have my fair share doing stuff I ain't had no business doing. Riding in stolen cars and selling drugs and stuff like that. But I want to say maybe I got lucky, but I never really got into any trouble. I always was at the time when I was like, this ain't for me. It was that time where I went left, and the people that still was going right was getting in trouble, was getting killed, and things like that. So I want to attribute it more so to my parents and just having the right people in my life. Even though I did do things that I ain't had no business doing, but I was just fortunate enough not to be that one that got caught up.
I feel it. So I'm back to The Wire, man. So you were extra in The Wire, which portrayed life in your city. How did that feel to just, even as an extra, to be in something like that was highlighting your home?
It was a good experience. It's just unfortunate the things that go on here, but
yeah,
it was a good experience to be on it and talk to some of the people, even though a lot of people that was the main actors wasn't even from here, so like they don't really can't really depict it off of some of the main characters. They taught to talk a certain way and things like that. So like if one of the main actors really that was from here was like Snoop. I can't think of the whole cast, but it wasn't a lot of local actors that was like on the main cast. So these people that's coming from other areas that's portraying the way of life here. But like I said, it was good to get the experience and stuff. But a lot of stuff that they put into it is definitely true, and it still go on to this day.
Was Omar a true person, based off a true person in your city? No.
Fictional, made up. Keep us.
Yeah, he fictional.
Yeah. So what did you do in that in the episode?
So one of the episodes I was in, I was just like, just pretty much like standing off to the side in the background on one scene that took place inside the city. And then another episode I was on was the last episode of the final season. You won't even see me. So I can't remember the guy's name, but he had the afro, the African cat. They were locked up, and they were walking through the yard, and there was a group of guys playing basketball back in the blur, and I was one of the guys on the court.
Oh, okay.
So you wouldn't even have seen me in it.
So like, how did you get into that? How'd you get picked for those roles to be in there though?
So to be honest with you, at that time, man, they was looking for pretty much anybody that lived in Baltimore. Um, they had a casting company that was real big that was staffing a lot of people in the area. So, all you would do is just get the plug from somebody you knew, or if it was in the paper, you would call a number and see if they needed anybody, and they would, bring you in. It was like usually like it wasn't a whole lot. It was like $50 to $75 a day,
Yeah.
and then they give you like free food and you can network and stuff like that. But like I said, sometimes with that, man, it would be 10 hours me just sitting in the trailer, and they call us out to shoot a couple times, and then I'm sitting in the trailer chilling, eating and all that. But at the end of the day, I'm only getting like 50, $60.
Yeah.
So it's cool for the exposure and to put on your resume, man. But I can make 50 or $60 doing something else
Yeah.
way less time.
That's
I
all
feel
for a little bit of money.
But that's the hustle, man. Especially if you're and that's what I've been learning about with the movie industry, man. Like all these people you think be really making this like big time money, man. It took them years to really get to that position.
it there. Hey, Craftable Things. Hey, Carmen, 755 Media. What's up, y'all? Appreciate y'all. So the so you said you got some commercials and stuff coming up. Like, what's the ultimate goal for you for the acting?
To be honest with you, I'm not looking to be a major actor. Like this is something that I just like to do on the side. So any little feature film, if I can get a small speaking role, or I ain't looking to be Jamie Foxx or nothing. Like it's a hobby for me. Like
Yeah.
I like doing it, and it's fun being on set. It's just a hobby for me.
Yeah, that's cool though, man. I'll be an extra, man. I'll be the dude in the wheelchair. You see me, I was right over there in the corner, the one in the wheelchair over there, man.
Yep. When people ask me, I'll be like, "Yeah, I was the blur. I was right there in the blur."
Yeah.
Right.
So we had a T-shirt buddy on here. He was an actor and did some stuff. Like he was in extras in like Fruitvale Station and a couple other shows. It's pretty dope though, man. I mean, just the fact that not every day you gonna meet somebody be like, man, I was the dude chewing the gum in the back. You know what I mean? Like that's an accomplishment in your life, regardless whether you're extra or not.
Right.
Like, you don't know too many people that be like, man, I was in a movie.
I'm fortunate enough to have two buddies that's actors, man. Like,
oh, really?
That been in some serious roles.
That's
So, and like one time I had went out to LA, and one of my partners, man, it's a small circle. That's the crazy part too. But one of my partners that do marketing was actually in LA at the time doing a promotion for I think it was for Dutch Masters. And it was a guy that was, before weed went recreational, I think he had some kind of disorder and he was trying to push for weed to go recreational. So they had this real big house party, and they had the brand ambassador girls going around giving out free samples of Dutch Masters. Some open, some got weed in it, this, that, and the third. And man, I was like, I wasn't starstruck, but like it was a house in the hills for one. That was my first time being in the hills. To walk up in a house where as soon as it's like something out of a music video. As soon as you come in, it was a Rolls Royce in the driveway.
Yeah.
Pool in the living room area. Like as soon as you come in, I'm like inside. And next thing you know, man, Wiz Khalifa, Ty Dolla $ign, all them cats come up in there, and like nobody was like running over, like it was just like everybody just like, hey, what's up?
Right.
So just to be around that, man, it was crazy. But they just humble.
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
7:55. Said I read for a role in a movie. They escorted me out the building.
Hey,
I guess.
Hey, what happened? He ain't read it all. He ain't read it all. Or read it wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. She got a big personality though. She was probably
she was definitely
A little extra.
55.
yeah. She got a big personality. She probably took over that mug.
Wow.
She said, "Shout out to the people who can read scripts."
Trust me, it's a learning experience, but you know, I practice a little bit every day with this new one that I'm on, and I went over it with my wife, and I did pretty good on it. So I feel like, you know, I'll be ready on Saturday when I go and you know, start to do it. But I just, you know, I went on YouTube, looked up different ways on how to memorize and retain scripts. And to be honest with you, I listened to an excerpt from Samuel L. Jackson that kind of like resonated with me, man. This cat was like, you know, his regular memory, you know, where it's forgetful and he don't get paid for, he can account for it. But when he doing roles, he writing exact.
Mm-hmm. So what's a pointer to memorize a script?
So one of the pointers that kind of stuck with me was, you know, of course, reading it over and over and taking a break from it, but also, you know, just saying it to yourself or bring up a recording in your phone and actually, you know, verse with yourself.
Yeah.
And typically, like if you know where the role is going to be at, like where it's going to take place at or what you got to say, a lot of times you can already place yourself there. So like if I'm having a conversation with somebody on the street and this is my script, I'm kind of like, once I hear the first couple words, I can kind of like just be like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm going to say when I'm interacting with this person.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to explain, but once I got the grasp of it, I understand it.
Mm-hmm. I used to have one of my goals used to be when I was younger was to write a script because I used to like to write stories and stuff like that. Never got around to it. I kind of read about script writing. It's different, like exterior, overhead lighting, all the different stuff. Just the way they're written is really different. You have to have you definitely have to have an understanding. So the what I do know about writing a script, I can imagine how it would be reading for a script because it's like exterior, overhead light, man in corner, just you know what I mean. Just the style of writing it takes to write.
I give it up to the people that do it, man. Because one time my buddy, when I was out there, he was practicing, and I was like, man, how you retain all of this?
Your wife said, I just helped him with his lines earlier. Yeah, no thanks. He can have it. LOL.
I told you. I asked her if she wanted to do it. She's like, nah.
Yeah.
Wow. Q, it's been really, this is a great episode. I learned a lot today. A lot more than I would have. And y'all wear a lot of hats. Like I said, it's a serial list going on for these serial entrepreneurs.
I got a shirt.
Where can we find you if we want to get in contact with maybe some of the future products or
even I'm on Instagram. My personal page is QFit007.
QFit007?
Yep.
QFit007.
And then, of course, my music page is Q to God.
I'll put your real name on the flyer, though, like the whole government.
It's all good. It's all good.
Wow.
And then my barber Instagram is Groom by Q 456.
Groom by Q 456.
Yeah, y'all look at them pictures, man. This man's a barber. I shit you not. I was looking at his stuff like he the truth, man. So, man, we ain't gonna keep you much longer. I know Kimmy need her husband back. So
Man, she go to bed early. she hanging up tonight.
Oh,
I appreciate her support.
Yeah.
But I know it's probably hurting her right now staying up this late.
Yeah, we had her that night. We stayed on. Shit, we knew.
Yeah, out. Yeah.
So, man, brother, we appreciate you. When you get them rolls, man, anything, them new stuff, any new drops, man, come holler at us, man. You always got a place with us, brother. You and your
Appreciate
wife.
That.
We're gonna have to set up. We need to get your daughter on here one day too. She an entrepreneur too. We need to hear her story too, man.
Yeah.
We'll get that set up here soon. So we are back Saturday with Mr. T-shirt. And y'all tap in for that. Next Tuesday, though, I'm gonna go on and leak this one, man. We got Cassandra Smith from Blanks Galore coming on here next Tuesday. So we got some good stuff coming on. And again, brother, thank you. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate
No problem at all. Anytime, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
For sure.
Keep good.
Y'all Saturday.
Peace.